because mushrooms are supposed to teach you something. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people do mushrooms like at raves and parties just to like
Yeah, yeah.
trip, but I mean it's like it's fun guy, but like it's a sacred sacrament, I would say, right? For like
Uh-huh.
self realization or like some kind of enlightenment type of tool.
Yeah.
Like I wonder that, for those people that take it at raves and stuff just to trip out. I mean, not saying that they don't do it for self realization, but I wonder if
hmm
you don't do it for the purpose to learn something, if you still get something out of it. You know what I mean?
I remember three like major uh epiphanies when I did it. The first time I did it, the first thing I learned or whatever, or the first thing that like the first major thought that I had pondered was like, well, or yeah, the first thing I learned was thrive. That's that was that first thing that it taught me. That was like that's the most I could describe out of that first time I did it was the word thrive. Just exist, just
Mm.
live. That was the only thing I got out of that experience. The second time I had a bunch. That experience, it made me question. I think what the shrooms were telling me, or were getting me to be curious about, was it was like, who runs this? Who runs the system, or like who is God? Who is behind this universe? That was what I left with after that second time I did shrooms. And the third time when I went golfing with Jermaine, during that whole golf course incident, the lesson I got out of that was don't be a pussy, and that was that, that's what I left. That was like the lesson of the day was don't be a pussy. Just those were the three major things that came to me.
Would you say
Yeah,
would you say would you say that advice was random, or would you say it was like an epiphany that you were trying to figure it out and you finally found it? You know what I mean? Like, don't be a pussy. Is that just in golf, or is that like a
I think
deeper?
that was just in life. That's a good question. If I think that was random, or if I do think. Well, I think that third epiphany was definitely something. It was definitely a lesson worth learning. The first two were kind of just like, when you do weed and you just think thoughts you've never thought before, or you're more amazed by certain thoughts than other ones. But the first two thoughts, um, what is it? Who runs this? Who runs life? Or thrive? Yeah, those are like second and third place epiphanies to don't be a pussy, which I think is is a great lesson for myself. I've been traumatized by a lot of things. So, me, I take a very cautious approach to life. I'm always afraid of the worst case scenario. I'm quite pessimistic. So, for the shrooms to tell me that, I don't think that was random for me to acknowledge, for me
Yeah.
to for me to understand, or for me to keep trying to teach myself. I still struggle with those things today, but at least I realize it. I realize it enough that it was important enough for me, or at least for the shrooms, to wake up that thought in my thought process.